black and white. What do you think of when I say those words? Oh, I just realized what I'm wearing. Oh, that's awkward. Promise that was not on purpose. For me, I think of colors. Or I guess it should really be more considered shades, since black is kind of the absence of color and white is all the colors and light. But that's reverse when we're talking about paint. They're colors and at the same time they're not. And for me that's natural. But I know there's some people who aren't thinking about light and paint when I say black and white. They're thinking about people, which isn't even correct because it's more like a peachy tan color for Caucasians and then a dark brown for Africans. I grew up in Canada. I think that I'm really lucky that I grew up in Canada. Even though I grew up in Saskatchewan, which nobody has heard of, by the way, which is in the middle of the country, and there's mostly people that were descendants from Europe, but you also saw a lot of people that were from different parts of the world. And then when I moved to the coast, it was even more apparent. The school that I went to, it was honestly mostly Asians there, which was kind of weird. So then I listened to all this poetry about people who are talking about how it was so much harder for them and how they were judged and discriminated against because of their race. And for me, I can't relate to that because I've never felt like that's happened to me, and I feel like I should have felt that, but I never did. And it's weird because when I moved to the US, I didn't realize that people still use the words black and white to describe people. I kind of thought that it wasn't a thing that happened anymore. Like if you said that in Canada, people would probably stare at you or look at you a little funny and think that you're weird, and probably people wouldn't be offended because that's not really something worth being offended about, but just no one uses that kind of language anymore. And because it's so multicultural in Canada, I didn't realize that was still such a strong sense of discrimination in other places in the world, which I guess is kind of naive of me, but that was the only thing that I had ever experienced. I've kind of been in like this bubble where I don't realize this stuff happens because for me, I don't personally experience it, and then I forget that other people have to deal with that kind of stuff, and that's not good. It's like I'm ignoring their pain because I don't feel it myself. I think that's a lot of the problem that people in first world countries have. I don't really understand racism. I don't get what happens in people's minds that makes them think that, oh, because I was born into this race, that automatically makes me better than that other race, and because they're that, then they're obviously worse people than I am just because they look different than I am. I don't get that. I feel like people are smarter than that, and I guess they're not. Like for me, if I'm walking down the street and I see this guy and he's got his hood pulled up and he looks kind of shady and stuff, I'm not gonna care if he's African American or Asian or Caucasian or Hispanic or Indian or anything. I'm just gonna be kind of freaked out. I don't really know what to say. I just kind of wanted to acknowledge that I'm kind of sheltered, but I also think that I'm better off for that because I don't have this pervasive sense of discrimination. The fact that I exist, I think, should give you hope, because hopefully one day the way I feel will be how all people feel. And that's a weird thing to say, but isn't it true? Yeah, that was kind of heavy. Whew. Whew. Just let the uneasiness flow away. Let it go. Let it go. Frozen. That's really all I wanted to say, I guess. I feel like I said a lot, and at the same time I didn't really say anything. Guys, what's your opinion on racism? It's stupid, right? I know. Let's talk about how stupid it is. What your opinion is about it, anytime you've ever experienced it, or how your certain race or whatever makes you feel about yourself, or how you think other people feel about you because of that. I don't know, there's a lot of questions that I could be asking. Just answer all of them. Write me an essay in the comment section. I will happily read it. I love reading those kind of things because sometimes I leave those comments. I have to scroll through the message because it's so long. And Merry Christmas, because I forgot to wish you guys that before. Sorry, I hope your Christmas was merry. But you did not get married. You could have gotten married. There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of romantic. Yeah. Okay, that is all.